USA I was. Well, if your baby through surrogacy is born in the US, you still need to make sure you know where they're going to be born. I'm going to talk about where surrogacy is illegal in the United States. Stay tuned. I'm Corlendos Scott, and I'm an assisted reproduction attorney, and I've dedicated my practice to helping people who refuse to give up on their dream of growing their family. I help them do that through assisted reproduction, egg donation, sperm donation, surrogacy, even embryo donation. And the question is, in what states is surrogacy illegal? You might want to know that before you jump into the process. So today we'll talk about broadly why is it illegal some places. We'll look at where it's illegal, and we'll finish up by talking about why it is legal and why it should be, even in the places where right now it's not. So let's talk about, in a broad sense, why some places declare surrogacy illegal or don't recognize surrogacy arrangements. You know, I could be biased, but for me, I just don't understand why something as beautiful as growing someone's family could be frowned upon. Yeah, I'm biased. Yeah, I'm totally biased. But at the same time, I can understand the concern that some states have, and it's the concern that many people who view surrogacy have. Here's what I've heard. Some states, and some countries for that matter, look at surrogacy as a negative public policy issue. And what I mean by that is they see it as a violation of a woman's rights. You could say they think it's undignified. In essence, they feel like you're using someone's body for another person's end. And they don't like that. And that's one of the concerns around why surrogacy is frowned upon in some places. I mean, come on, I'm not going to argue about that. I understand that we have to protect humans' rights. I'm a big advocate. I'm a human, and I like my rights, so I want to protect other people's rights. But the question becomes, at what point does a person get to decide what they want to do with their own bodies? But that's the reason why some states, and some countries for that matter, frown upon surrogacy. Other places don't have so much of the public policy concern, but it's the commerce concern. They believe that if you're going to do this, there shouldn't be a commercial interest in it because that convolutes things and that creates a problem and potentialities for people being taken advantage of. People who may not have monetary resource being lured into the world of surrogacy with dollar signs in their eyeballs where they wouldn't normally do it except for the paycheck. So I understand that also. There's a commerce concern. At the end of the day, although these concerns are understandable, I still believe that there is a human on each side of a surrogacy arrangement that is able to make these determinations for themselves. So let's look at where surrogacy is illegal in the US. Initially, we had what I call a big five of states that didn't allow surrogacy. But as time has moved on, that list is whittling down, and now we're left with a big four, or maybe even a big 3.5. You'll see what I mean in just a second. So the first state we have on the list is Michigan. Now, we don't need to dig into the laws in Michigan on surrogacy. Suffice it to say, bad state for surrogacy. Great state for going to school. Go Blue! Yeah, I'm a Michigan grad, so I kind of love Michigan. Not Michigan State. The next state we have is Louisiana. Louisiana is another one of those tricky states where you don't want to leave your surrogacy arrangement up to the chance that the laws in Louisiana provides. There's other states that are more favorable, so if you can avoid it, I would look for other states other than Louisiana, if you're going through the surrogacy process, that is. The next state is Nebraska. Nebraska, also on my list of states to stay away from if you're looking for the best possible outcome and the lowest amount of headaches for your surrogacy journey. Last but not least, there is Arizona. Arizona is the half that I was talking about, and we'll talk about that in another video. So if you want to see the video on surrogacy laws in all the states, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Click the subscribe button. Go ahead. Now go ahead and do it. I'll wait on you. Like do it. Okay. Now click the bell. It's a little bell right beside it. Yeah. That bell lets you get notifications when I release a new video, so you won't miss a thing. I mean, FOMO, come on, nobody wants that. So Arizona. Arizona is a state that does not recognize surrogacy arrangements or surrogacy contracts. And a surrogacy contract is one of the foundations of a successful surrogacy journey. You want to make sure that you have in writing exactly what everyone agrees on throughout the process. And so for you to put all the effort into creating a document that details everyone's rights and responsibilities, to have a state that says we don't recognize those 50 pieces of paper that you scribbled stuff on, that could be a problem. Now, there are some people who have successfully obtained court orders to be the parents of children born through surrogacy in Arizona, but there's no guarantee there. So, don't leave it to chance. You can find another state. Now, I love Arizona for lots of reasons, but not for your surrogacy journey. Now, I said there used to be the big five. Well, the fifth used to be New York, but look at you, New York. Concrete jungle where dreams are made of? Surrogacy dreams, that is. Because New York just recently passed the law that allows surrogacies, compensated and altruistic, to go down. So if you've been holding off from surrogacy because you're on the East Coast and you wanted to do it close to home and New York was an option for you, well, congratulations. The state is now open for business. And let's hope it stays that way. So of the big 3.5 or 4, as I mentioned, you may be wondering, well, why do they hate surrogacy so much? Why do they not want surrogacy happening within their borders? Well, like I said, those broad reasons why people disagree with surrogacy in general, but there's also some other legal reasons. And one of those reasons is the contract. I mentioned that every surrogacy should be built on a strong, firm surrogacy contract that dictates the rights and the responsibilities of all the parties. Well, a contract in this context is a written agreement, and a lot of states and legal professionals look at written agreements as terms of commerce. So that gets us back to the issue of, is surrogacy just a baby-making commodity? And so some states shy away from it for that reason. And here's the reason why. Within that surrogacy contract that details the rights and responsibilities of both parties, a surrogate is giving up certain rights. Unquestionably, while a surrogate is going through the surrogacy process, there will be things that she would normally be able to do that because she's a surrogate, she will be giving up. For instance, dangerous activities like, skydiving, bungee jumping. It better be something in that surrogacy contract that says the surrogate agrees not to willfully engage in dangerous sports and activities while she's carrying this other couple's baby. So in a surrogacy contract, you're giving up certain rights. And for some states, that's just a no-go. They think you can't barter away your rights. You can't put a price tag on your freedom. So for that reason, it's just a no-go for some states. So with these handfuls of states putting a crimp in a lot of people's assisted reproduction plans, the question becomes, why are they holding out? Why wouldn't we allow surrogacy and some forms of assisted reproduction in some places in the US? Well, I don't know the answer to that, but I'll tell you why they should. Why they should is the same reason that 46 other states and 47 now, with New York jumping in, welcome to the club, New York. It's the same reason why they have allowed it. At the heart of it, it's a fundamental right. Now, while there isn't any constitutional right to procreate, the Supreme Court has determined that the right to procreate is a fundamental right. So we as Americans especially, we believe that you have the right to grow your family. And that right should extend to everybody, no matter what state you're in. And the other argument for allowing surrogacy and other forms of assisted reproduction is that it allows the states to have an active voice in how the process works. I know a lot of people don't like regulation, and let's be honest, nobody likes to be told what to do, but it's important that we have safeguards so that people aren't taken advantage of and that people get to live their lives in a safe manner. I mean, if we didn't regulate speed limits, we'd be pretty crazy out there on the highways. So if these states would just think through the process and allow their citizens to enjoy the possibilities that exist with assisted reproduction, they could put safeguards in place that make sure that both parents and surrogates are protected and not taken advantage of while allowing people to achieve their dream of growing their family. If you have a dream of growing your family and you need the help of assisted reproduction, then I'm here to help you. I've created something called the Surrogacy Roadmap that walks you through the entire process of surrogacy from beginning to end. And if you want it, I'll give it to you for free. There's a link below, so just click that link, get your hands on the Surrogacy Roadmap, and I'll walk you through the process starting with phase 1 all the way through phase taking your baby home. Click the link and grab your copy.